Hello students, today we are going to learn about forms of business organizations. Do you know that there are different types of business organizations? But we can classify these business organizations for two major sectors as private sector and public sector organizations. And after that, again we can classify those organizations into many other sectors. But I'm not going to discuss all those things at once. Let's see how we are going to identify different forms of business organization from hereafter. Within the world, we can identify most of the economies are mixed economies. Mixed economies mean within the economy we can identify the participation of both private sector and as well as public sector. Due to that reason, we can identify some business organizations belong to private sector and there are some other business organizations belong to public sector. So previously I mentioned that we can identify the contribution of both private sector organizations and public sector organizations within the economy. So we can categorize business organizations as private sector and public sector. Anyhow, now I am going to pay your attention to private sector organizations. Under private sector organizations, we can identify sole traders, partnerships, private limited companies, and cooperatives. Now I am going to pay your attention to sole trader business organizations. What are the sole trader business organizations? The specialty is that we can identify only one owner in sole trader business organizations. Among the different types of business organizations, this is the most easiest way to start up a business because there is only one owner. Among several forms of business organizations, keep in mind this is the easiest and flexible form of business organization. Now, we need to identify what are the specialties or the features of sole trader business organizations. First thing is that owned and controlled by one person. I told that in sole trader business organizations, we can identify only one person. So he is the one who is controlling and who is having the ownership of this business organization. And the powers are solely with the owner. As he is the one and only owner of that business organization, he is having the total power of that organization. And think about the provision of capital. It means how he or she is going to invest money for this business. Provision of capital. He or she may use his personal savings or may borrow a personal loan or sell in a personal asset like that. They find money to invest for this business and they may employ several number of people. Also, a small amount of capital is required to start the business. When comparing with other business organizations, we can identify that for this type of business organizations, the owner need only a small amount of money to invest for this business organization. and provides rewards of independence and personal satisfaction. It means as he or she is the one and only owner of that organization, he or she is having the full authority or the power to do anything that they like. They have that ability to control that business organization. They can gain full personal satisfaction as they are as the one and only person. He or she is going to take decisions regarding the business organization, and no legal requirement is needed to register and no need to publish accounts in public. When we think about public limited companies, they need to follow so many rules and regulations. They need to complete so many legal requirements. We can identify those things in next topic. So, keep in mind that for sole trader business organizations, they don't have much more legal requirement to register and no need to publish accounts in public. Now think about the advantages and disadvantages of sole trader business organizations. Think about the features which we discussed previously. Through that, we can gain an advantages and also we can identify disadvantages as well. Look at this table. First, pay your attention to advantages. The first thing is a small amount of capital is required to start the business. When we think about the other forms of business organization, for this type of business, especially for sole trader business organizations, we don't need huge amount of money. Think about a small retail shop in your village. They don't need huge amount of money to start that business organization. So, sole trader business organizations do not need a huge amount of money or capital to start up that business. The next advantage is owner has the full managerial and financial control and complete independence on how to run the business. Why is that? Because he is the one and only owner of that business organization. If you are running a business organization, if you are the only owner of that business, you have full managerial and financial control. You can make your own decision regarding the business. And the next advantage is it is easy to set up as business require less legality when forming. You don't need to follow so many legal requirements. You don't need to fill so many legal documents. It is easy to set up. And the other thing is the profit do not have to be shared. As you are the one and only owner of that organization, you can gain the total profit without sharing it with others. And now we need to consider about the disadvantages. The very first disadvantage is that unlimited liability. Because you are the one and only owner of that organization. So, if you gain a loss, you need to bear that. If you borrow a loan, you are the only person who should pay the whole loan. You have that responsibility. There is an unlimited liability. And the other disadvantage is this form of business has low status in the business community. The reason is, think about a private limited company or a public limited company with a small retail shop in your village who have the very high status within the business community. That huge organizations, because they have a legally they have recognized, they have that identity, they are valid, they have very recognized brand names. So when we think about sole traders, they have low status in the business community, and limited amount of capital can lead to difficulties in expansion, because when only one person invests his or her money to the business, he or she cannot invest huge amount of money at the very startup stage of the business. At the initial stage, they cannot invest huge amount of money. So they cannot expand their business suddenly. It takes so many time, more than 3 years sometime. So the other thing is no one to consult when making decision. Lack of new ideas. As you are the one and only person who is making decision, no one is to advise you. If you need advisors or consultancy, you can gain those services from other people, other organizations. There are some organizations who are providing business consultancy. But when we think about a company, a private limited or public limited company or a partnership, we can identify that there are so many owners, and new ideas, creative ideas can be found within the organization. But within sole trader business organizations, you cannot find new ideas like that, because no one needs to consult. No one is there to point out this is wrong, this is correct, because you are the one and only person who is making decision. And the other thing is business die with owner. Why is that? He is the one who start the business and he continue it, and if something happened to him, what happened? There is no one to control that business. So business die with owner. So there are the advantages and disadvantages that we can find within a sole trader business organization. Now I am going to discuss about partnerships. If there is only one person for that business, it means one owner for that business, we can identify it as a sole trader. But think that if there is 2 owners or 3 owners, so we can identify those organizations as partnerships. In partnership business organizations, we can identify some special features. In partnership, minimum there should be 2 owners and maximum is 20. So the other thing is, in partnership business organizations, all the managerial and financial responsibilities of a business need to share with partners. And the liability, when we think about the liability of the business, is also unlimited, just like the sole trader business organizations. It means if the business bankrupt or they gain loss, they need to use their own resources, their own assets. Think that if A and B start up a partnership business organization, and for that business they borrow a loan from the bank. After a few months ago, their business gained a huge loss and they are unable to pay that loan. Then these two people, A and B, need to use their own assets, own resources in order to complete that, in order to repay that loan. So the liability is unlimited in partnership organizations as well. Also, they don't have a separate legal entity. It means in front of the law, business organization and the owners are not two different people. They are identified as one entity. It means customers think that if a customer going to file a case regarding a partnership, then they can file that case from the names of the owner. And when we think about the partnerships, we can identify a special thing when comparing to sole trader. It is deed of partnership. It means in a partnership there must be an agreement. According to the agreement, have to share the profit and losses between the partners. Now you know that when we are conducting a partnership organization, it is really essential to have a partnership deed or partnership agreement. Deed of partnership is useful to solve so many issues arise within an organization, especially within a partnership organization. This deed of partnership is the agreement arise in between the partners. So we need to learn about the deed of partnership in detailed manner. So, many partnerships are set up without legal agreements. So, when there is an issue or conflict, when they go to the court, when they file a case, the judge cannot solve this issue easily as they don't have a pre-designed legal agreement. So, in order to solve the conflicts, issues arise within a partnership, this legal agreement is very useful. There are many other benefits of having a legal agreement. So, the other thing is when a partnership forms a legal document with a support of a legal document, now we can name that as deed of partnership or the agreement of partnership. So the document sets terms and conditions to cover difficulties or disagreements that may occur in near future. So, deed of partnership is very important and useful. And the other thing is, within a partnership organization, we can identify that there are different types of partners. Among those partners, there are some partners we can identify as sleeping partners. Who are these sleeping partners? Actually, they contribute to the business organization. They invest their money toward the business and they receive a share from the business. But the thing is that they do not have any voting power and also they don't going to actively participate for business activities. It means when making business decisions, they don't actively participate for that. They don't go to interfere with that. They don't go to involve with that. So we can identify those partners as sleeping partners. Even in your class, sometimes you can identify some of your friends are not actively participate for the lesson, no? So they are just like sleeping. So within a partnership, also we can identify some partners are just like that. They are not going to actively participate for the business process, especially in making business decisions. Do you know that there is another type of partnership called limited liability partnerships? What are the limited liability partnerships? Think about it. Actually, these are organizations just look like companies from outside, okay? From outside, it just look like a company. But the specialty is that it remain very much like in partnerships. All the partners have limited liability. Limited liability means think that, for an example, if they borrow a loan and if their business is bankrupt or gain a loss, in order to repay that loan, they don't need to use their own resources, own assets. Their liability is limited. The partnership can sue or be sued in its own name. It means if someone going to file a case within the court, they can file that case for the name of the business organization, not for the name of the business owners. It means the partnership can sue or be sued in its own name from the company name, and they have minimum of 2 partners. Okay, now we need to identify the advantages and disadvantages of partnership organizations. First, look at the advantages. Advantages are responsibilities and decision making is shared. In the organization, all the partners are contributed in making correct business decisions and can raise more capital than a sole trader, greater continually than sole trader. Previously, in sole trader business organizations, only one person invests toward the business. But now in partnership, there are more than one person, more than one owner. So, when there are 5 owners within the partnership, all the 5 members can invest their money toward the business. So, they can raise more capital. And losses are shared among the partners. Previously, if you gain a loss, if you are the only one and only person of the organization, if you are the only owner of that organization, you need to bear that loss. But here, when there are so many partners, the loss are shared among the partners. It is an advantage. When we think about the disadvantages, we can identify that unlimited liability. Previously also I explained this. This unlimited liability is a disadvantage, and profit need to be shared. Size of the business is limited to maximum 20 partners. If you need to have 30 partners, you can't have 30 partners. only 20 partners you can have, and on the other hand, when you gain a huge profit, you need to share that profit with your partners. And dispute can occur between partners. Within a partnership, usually we can identify some conflicts, arguments. But in sole trader organizations, no disputes, no conflicts. The reason is, if you are the one and only person who is having the ownership of that business organization, then you can make your own decision. But in a partnership organization, it is not like that. You need to take the ideas of other partners. It is just like a teamwork. So, dispute can occur between partners. So, we can identify both pros and cons. It means advantages and disadvantages even in a partnership organization. So thank you for your active participation and watching my video. From next video, I am going to discuss about limited companies. Till that, have a nice day. Thank you for watching this video.